episode of Talking That Talk official podcast.
All right, what's good, world? Welcome back to your favorite podcast. I go by the name of King Exodus, aka X. All righty. So tonight's episode was inspired by the likes of Kevin Durant. For many of y'all that don't know, Kevin Durant won NBA championships with the Golden State Warriors. Prior to that, he left OKC to go to a better team. All right. So his rings were questionable because he went to a better team. He put himself in a better position to win, and he executed. You know what I mean? Even though he went head to head with LeBron, some people still say, hey, that don't count because your team was low. All right. Moving further, he goes to Brooklyn to form his own team built around him and Kyrie. It never gelled. It never worked. All right. They didn't win. So now he's saying, hey, I want to trade. But not only do I want to leave, but I want to go to either Miami or Phoenix, which were the top two teams in the East and the West. So he's saying, hey, if I leave this, I want to get into a better position so I can win a ring. His whole mind state is on winning, putting himself in the best position to win. However, the criticism is like, well, Jordan wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not great because he has no problem with going to a system that's already set in place. He just wants to play a role in a winning system. He don't want to set up a new system and go through that chaos and building progression. He just rather go and win. So there are a lot of analysts in the NBA world and sports world that's shitting on his attitude towards winning. He's supposed to take the hardest route possible towards success, not take the easier route. All right? And then we can transmutate this energy in a lot of other conversations, which would pretty much be, why doesn't the world celebrate sometimes the number two guy? Or not always the entrepreneur, but the entrepreneur. Why do we only celebrate people that create the systems and not people that improve systems? Okay? So these are the angles we're going to take the conversation. But yeah, that's the intro to the conversation, man. Why do you think that KD going through the scrutiny that he's going through, man?
Well, I'm going to open it up with Jocelyn Hernandez. I don't know if y'all remember her from Love and Hip Hop. She has a favorite line that made me laugh, and I forever say it for the rest of my life, right? She says this line, it says, "Get with the winning team, ho." So, you know what I'm saying? It's funny because, like, I guess we kind of scrutinize people who want to win or be in better chances of winning in life. I don't understand that, right? If we want to put this in, let's put this in a sports analogy of relationships, right? We'll call Kevin Durant the hypergamy of competitiveness, right? He wants to go with the best team to win with the best option. Let's just be honest. He wants to win like that, right? All right, give me a clap. I gotta get a clap for that. The best team to win with the best option. Let's just be honest. He wants to win like that, right? All right, give me a clap. I gotta get a clap for that. I get a clap for that, right? Man, you ain't clapping your hands, bro. Let me get that real quick. But this is like very much true. Like, why would you still want to be on the opposing team that always loses? All right. We always try to stick loyalty with winning, or loyalty with like staying in the hood, or loyalty with doing like some of the crazy shit that doesn't elevate you. We need to go ahead and be able to be the ones that be like, look, man, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to do things that's best for me and my family. Like, this is the whole point of leaving legacy, right? If your legacy really ain't shit, nobody really cares. Like, for instance, right? Charles Barkley ain't got a goddamn ring, but we know who Charles Barkley is. Basically because of his competitiveness and also his mouth. That's really why. Let's be honest, right? It's not really like too much of like what he has done, like winning wise, but we know who he is. At the same time, I'm gonna be honest, right? I say, like, if you can win with an individual, like, go to where you can win at, right? This is the thing. Like, this is a mentality we have. Like, for instance, we say, hey, look, leave the hood, and you'll see how life can really be, right? It's always the individual that wants to pay lower rent, right? I'm gonna give you an analogy. Some people want to pay a lower rent because they can save money. I learned, a dude said, look, let me tell you why you want to pay a higher rent. Because the people who paying higher rent have a higher net worth as well. So you can keep your mindset like, ooh, I want to save money. And people be like, oh, if I'm paying 10,000 a month to stay here, other people paying 10,000 a month to stay here. Shit, ain't no telling who I can meet here. You got to put your mentality in those type of situations where, look, you can win here, or you can stay okay here. What you want to do?
Okay, I like that.
Also, they never did it to LeBron. You know, hey, let's shout out to LeBron. You know, I'm a LeBron fan, baby.
Hey, that's different. Hey, you know what I mean? And even people that be like, yo, Jordan did this, Jordan did that. I'm like, cool, fam. Like, Jordan wouldn't have did that without pimping. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That was the key right there. You know what I mean? When dude set out, uh, was going through his little issues money wise. When Rodman didn't ball, you know what I'm saying? That made his job 10 times harder. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they didn't have like the best players at that time, but a system is a system. And that's my next point. We have to understand how systems function. Everybody has a role within the system. Everybody has a position. Everybody has their own worth. If we look at Jordan, a lot of people be like, hey, Steve Kerr was on the squad, but he hit that one shot. One shot. He's remembered for hitting one shot throughout his whole career playing with the Bulls. Just one. The one shot that counted the most.
The
Okay.
most.
Now, on the flip side, he's performing at an optimal level as a coach. So he took that experience, you know what I'm saying, potentially just from being within that system, and that made him a better coach than most people that were coaching for a longer time period than he had been coaching. So shitting on other people's accomplishments because they don't have the highest seat within the system shows, like, to me, like insecurity. You know what I'm saying? We can say like that's negative criticism at the same time. And like I said, everybody has a role. If we look at players like Robert Horry, was he ever the best player on the team? No. But when they needed threes and dying situations, he stepped up, he knocked down on shots. You feel me? So everybody gets their
How many
credit
rings
for,
does he have? How many rings Rob Ward got?
man, I want to say like, you got like five, six, some shit like that.
Yeah, he got about 5 or 6, but yeah, like
Yeah.
I just want to make sure people
Right.
understand who he
So yes,
was.
we just have to understand how systems function. And just because you're not at the head of a system at the current moment still don't mean you can't work your way to the top. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to have the same attitude towards people when they say, hey, like we brought up the one meme one time where people was like, hey, I got the job. People was like, oh shit, you got the job. He was like, hey, I started my own business. They like, okay. Like both people made an accomplishment. Both people made a progressive move. So you celebrate both the same, even if you don't necessarily agree with the moves. And I think that's a problem within society. If people don't agree with the moves you make, regardless as to why you're making those moves, they shit on you. It's almost like people have to be in love with everything you do in order just to agree with every single move that you make. And if you make any move outside of what they think you should do, then you automatically fucked up, no matter how much progress, no matter how much success it can bring to you and your family. So at the end of the day, we have a man that's humble enough to say, hey, I don't have to be the main guy. I don't have to be the star of the show. I just
Mhm,
want to win, add to my legacy, and continue to support my family at an optimal level.
mhm,
Appreciate that. This is the reason why we go and bitch and complain when people with high egos fuck up the system. They break up the team, they break up the group, they break up the record labels. You know what I'm saying? Because they fucked up because they high on their own ego. But when we have men that say, hey, I don't have that ego, bro. Just put me where I need to be and I do my job, then we shit on those men too. So it's a little oxymoron now. So whatever you got on that, man.
Oh man, like I said, we can always put ourselves into a system where we can actually improve it at the same time. I just, like I said, even for myself, as I get older, I never understood why people care, like what other people do. How does that affect you personally? You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? I understand, like, if this person you was close and attached with, yeah, I can see some, what I'm saying, some reconciliations, like stuff like
Mhm.
that. But as for what he's doing, I don't feel like it's nothing wrong with it, right? I remember the first time when he got traded to Golden State, everybody, yep, we did it. Like, so I remember like this dude that made this post, like, yeah, we did it. We won the championship. We pulled the weakest move in the world by trading to an All-State team, and then you gotta look at it like, yeah, that was kind of like the move. But let's gotta get back on point when it comes to that situation. Uh, there's always improvements that are made. I don't think why people understand why some of the top companies would always trade some of their own CEOs or get somebody from another company or software development company or for somebody from another area because they understand these people can actually help build up the business and the structure even further than what we have already done. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something a lot of people don't realize. See, people can kind of put their hindsight on individuals and know, like, we get this person, we can work with them. There's a movie right now I'm watching right now. It's called Hustle. Got Adam Sandler on it right now. I'm just not tuning into it. So basically, Adam Sandler is like a scout. He went all over, like, touring different places, trying to look for the next star to bring back into America, right? He's like I said, he's trying to go and find individuals who can play certain positions. And one of the main things I realized when it comes to certain situations, even my own uncle went through it, right? He's at a press conference. The owner here, the owner's son's here, and he's right here. What people don't understand is you got to stand on your square when you talk about improvising and putting people in situations that can better your franchise or the business, right? One is arguing, hey, we need this player. One is arguing we don't need this player. Now, what are they doing? They're weighing up to the even. It's like, well, this is how they are on offense. Well, yeah, well, this is like he's on defense. Well, this is what his conduct is with the other teammate. Or this is what his conduct look like off the field. It's like you got to be able to compare and contrast of why you really want this individual. My uncle called it a war room, right? When the NFL teams get together and they're drafting people, it's people sitting right there. You got to go against and you got to convince everybody within that board why we should draft this certain individual over the other individual. And yeah, I remember it gets heated. But at the same time, the analyzation of what they're doing is trying to better the franchise, the company, the business, whatever it is, to get to the next level. So we can't hate on that people are actually using analytics and people's playing ability to try to get to the next level. The one thing they did out here, what was it they did? They had traded Westbrook for James Harden when when they came out here for a little bit, and they tried to like no for CP3 when he came to Houston, and they was trying to see the comparison of 1 point. It was point one when they switched the two individual out, most likely to make the playoffs. I was like, damn, that point really mean a lot to people, even though they didn't really do that.
Okay. Okay. Just a couple of more sports scenarios, and then we can talk about how they move in the real life. If we look at Kobe and Shaq, um, they connection got destroyed, right? They both won without each other, but a lot of people think, okay, what could they have accomplished together? Seeing what they've done separately. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be like, yeah, Kobe got two without him, but Kobe also had a shitload of injuries as well throughout the
Uh huh.
years. Even Kobe himself wanted to trade at one point. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't talk about that. Shaq was like a team hoe at one point, just bouncing from team to team, coasting towards his retirement. You know what I mean? Like these are things that happen. We look at Kyrie and LeBron. Kyrie said, "Hey, I want to be that guy. I'm tired of being in this man's shadow. I'm gonna go do my own shit." Ain't won nothing since at all. You know what I
Right.
mean? You had the opportunity to play with the GOAT of your generation and win as much as you could with that guy, and you chose your
Right.
own ego, and you haven't accomplished anything since then. All right,
Mm.
take it a little further, a different point, something completely different. For the people that seen the Facebook movie, right? Uh, Zuckerberg wasn't able to make this system function, Facebook, without key components, which was other people. He needed somebody else's idea. He needed somebody else's finances, and then
Mm.
he needed somebody else's swag. They mentorship and just how to improve their brand 10 times better to make it what it is. Did he have the initial talent and skill set? Yes. But he still needed other people to produce that product and put that stamp on it and make it what it is today. Right.
Mm.
And then some more fucked up shit. You look at it, Meta got turmoil within their own house. Meta is suing Meta right now. You know what I mean? So going back to systems and how they function, every key component plays a part in progression. If you look at entertainers, entertainers aren't just the talent is just enough. No, the talent is just what it is. It's the talent. But you have other people around that make that talent what it is. Whether you have writers, you have people that pick your wardrobe, you have people that you consult with. All these people play a role into that person that get on the stage. And sometimes those people get paid more. But if our whole concept is just wrapped around who's the star of the show, whose name is on everything, who's the face on the front, then you lost. Because that's not how anything works. You look at music, you have writers. You have people that's writing for other people. The person that's performing the song, 9 times out of 10, it's not the person that wrote the song. You feel me? So this is how shit works. Some people want to be the face, some people just cool with being the background person. That's not saying that no one should want to be the background person, because without the background person, you wouldn't have somebody out front. You need both. You need everybody to play their role. So that's my analogies why I brought up those kind of superstars and companies. Everybody needs somebody else to make them even better. All right. So if you ain't got nothing on that, I can get back to the Kevin Durant situation specifically.
No, I mean the only person I got in my mind right now, I wrote down 50 Cent in the game. We forgot there was two different people from two different coasts that was united the
Mm,
whole forefront of music at one point in time.
mm,
So that was really a big thing for East Coast and West Coast connection since the era of Tupac and Biggie.
yep.
So during their little situation when they decided to break ways, everybody always asks the major question: Yo, what would have happened if these two stayed together? That's still one of the biggest phenomena that people are still questioning to this very day.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
All right. So back to the Kevin Durant situation. One thing that a lot of people aren't considering is his age. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people could, climb the highest mountain, maybe so much in their youth. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another key component within the conversation. Dude is saying, look, I'm not in my early
Hey.
20s no more. I'm past
Mm-hmm.
my prime, so to speak. I'm still good. I'm still great, but I need help. You know what I'm saying? So that goes back into real life. Like a lot of times we shit on people who can honestly admit they need help at a particular moment. They probably don't have what they had at a certain time or whatever the case, because we're talking about Kevin Durant's age, but he's being honest with his performance and saying, hey, I need other pieces to get me over that hump. So a lot of times we celebrate people that do everything by themselves more than we celebrate people that play their role within a system, whether it's a relationship or marriage or, you know what I'm saying, a family structure, business or whatever. We don't give those people the same accolades, right? Both succeeded, but if somebody took a harder route, a lot of times we try to relate to the person that took the harder route. And that's chaotic to me. You know what I'm saying? We have to celebrate success, not necessarily everybody's individual route. Because some people that take a harder route may not have wanted to do so. As good as the story sounds, they might be honest with you and be like, look, at that time, I didn't have available resources, so I made something out of nothing. But that shouldn't always be the mind state that we celebrate and celebrate those accomplishments. So, like I say, this guy is also putting his performance on the table, possibly saying, hey, get me in the best situation because I can be a great attributor, but I don't have the athleticism that I once had. So we see a lot of times, we see it with LeBron, a lot of these players that's past their prime, that's still pretty good. They saying, yo, I need young talent around me to get me to that chip, to that ring. So even with the Golden State Warriors, they had a bunch of young players around them that once they finally got comfortable within their roles, the young players were the X factors. You know what I'm saying? Curry still had to go out there and put up his 30, his 40. He still had to perform, but let's just, would they have gotten that far without that young core of men that supported him? You know what I'm saying? Andrew Wiggins did his fucking thing. You still needed Andrew Wiggins to perform in order for Curry to get that chip. So it's not to undermine Curry's greatness, but without Wiggins doing what he did, without Draymond scoring his 10 points, you know what I'm saying, and his 100 fouls, they wouldn't did it.
A thousand times.
So yeah, that's my shit on that. We gotta stop celebrating people that always take the harder route versus people that actually just, hey, both people succeed. Whether you took the harder route or you played your role, you still made it to that optimal level. So what you got on that?
I know. I'm about to say age does come into a factor to a lot of things. I don't know why people keep thinking that you can do everything on your own. Like I said this before. This is my own quote. I said, like, if you're meant to do everything on your own, you'll be on this planet by yourself. So we got to stop thinking like that. Well, one of the things that came into my mind as you were speaking, I remember I was speaking with one of my mentors not too long ago. He was telling me straight up, like, "Hey, look, man, I've been hustling for like 20 years. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep up no more. Like, dude, I'm old. Like, I need some help." You know what I'm saying? Is he? You know what I'm saying? Once you get past up in age, people don't realize like that really comes into effect to how well you can perform as well, whether it's mentally, physically, any capacity. It starts taking a toll, right? This is why people start sleeping later or going to sleep earlier because their bodies now has been worked up to a certain point that is past its peak, past its prime. Um, that's another thing. We can't be scared to put somebody young into the picture, right? One of the main things, but we have to also be willing is to accept the mentorship and guidance from older heads, or old people. That's the old heads, or OGs in the game, right? A lot of us really feel like we know everything because we're coming in a little bit youthful, and that's one of the worst things you can ever do in life, right? You know what I'm saying? We can about to get ready to walk through a forest. I could be like, look, I already walked through this forest. Here's a map. You might be like, man, I know what I'm doing. I got a cell phone.
Yeah,
As
fuck
soon as
that.
you start walking, you lose signal. You
Mm-hmm.
lose signal while you walking through the forest. You didn't want to listen. Now you deserve whatever happens, right? What could have took you with an hour, it took you 9 hours. You know what I'm saying? We got to pay attention to like these things that happen. I always preach to everybody about mentorship, guidance. When you reach to these people online, you find these people in person. How I found my latest mentor, I offer free labor, straight the fuck up. I said, look, I'm off on Mondays. I'll give you my whole Monday for mentorship, free labor. He ain't turn that down, right? I ain't gotta pay you. Cool. But there's many different ways to get to the next side that you just got to be willing to do. Let's also be able to learn from the youth. That's another thing. One thing we got to be able to do is learn from the youth. Uh, you brought up the analogy of 50 Cent. He said, what does he do? He go into the clubs and listen to what everybody's listening to now. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why he's able to stay up to date. Robert Kiyosaki, when it comes to style and fashion, he said, look, I have somebody dress me in the latest fashion so I can stay up to date and be able to reach the youth as well as people of my audience. All that comes into the picture because people still want to reach the youth and be able to get their message out there. That's one of the main things we got to be able to do at the same time.
Right. And with that relationship is strictly reciprocity. Uh,
Right.
both balance each other out if they perform effectively. If the older person or the mentor feels as though they stop being a a student as well and they only assume the role of being a teacher, well then they don't learn anything in that
Mm-hmm.
relationship, right? And the younger person has to be humble enough to allow that mentor to play that particular role. And it's not saying that either one will be 100% accurate. You know what I'm saying? They learn and feed off each other within the same time frame. If we look at somebody like Steve Harvey, I was listening to EYO one day, and he got this young guy who's like 20, 25 years old, and he's one of his biggest investors that he got on payroll. It's shit that he understands that Steve don't get. So Steve just give him the money, let him flip Steve money, and then he go parade him around like, hey, this is my young boy right here. So he gets to meet people. He gets
Mm-hmm.
to
That's the power. Yes,
to
power.
learn investing at a better experience because he's not putting up his own money. Feel me? So he still has to do his due diligence, right, in order
Mm-hmm.
to perform at an optimal level. But he don't take the risk of, hey, I might fuck off my own shit or not. It's Steve money. He
Mm-hmm.
flipping it, but it's Steve money. Some
Right.
people would look at somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really like a hood mentality. Some people will look at somebody like that and be like, when you gonna come up from under Steve? When you gonna do your own thing? That man is
Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah.
That
It
man
is.
is in a position to where even though he's benefiting Steve, Steve is benefiting him. So the relationship produces reciprocity because they both learning from each other. Feel me? They both taking a higher position just from dealing with each other, keeping the relationship clean and pure. So when guy does make his money, right, because he's able to make money because he's on Steve's payroll. So when he's able to do his own thing, he'll step out with not just the money, but he'll step out with the experience. He'll step out with already having a strong network because he's in the right circle. He's in the right place at the right time. If we look at just period, the whole mentor the leader relationship, if we look at somebody like Louis Farrakhan been around since the Malcolm X days, right? But he had to wait until it was his time to become that guy. But he still learned from being within the atmosphere
Ooh, shit.
of all these great people that maybe these people were greater than him at that particular moment. Elijah Muhammad being one, Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan wasn't that guy then, right? But he later became that guy, and now he's known throughout multiple generations as being that guy. But he had to get the experience, he had to learn, he had to grow. He was in the environment, but he wasn't that guy at the particular moment. So it's just going to show that it's power within sometimes just learning and being able to be taught. Some people feel like they can't be around other people if they don't have the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Some people are a light bulb, which means you shine in a particular room. Some people are a sun. They shine universally, right? That's just how it works. You can't hate on somebody else's light or not focus on your own light, but at the same time, you have to just understand that some people are bigger than you at that particular moment. And you just have to work your way if that's your ambition. So that's all I got on that, on the mentor, the leaders, the Steve Harvey analogy. The younger generations and the older generations, they need each other. They feed off each other. That's what makes everything more powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some shit. I'm not necessarily within the older generation, but it's some shit, you know what I'm saying, with cell phones and networking and shit like that, that I don't know how to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody younger than me may put me on that or tell me, hey, this is what younger people are doing at this particular moment. Cool, bet. All right. I got a podcast. How can you help me with that? All right, bet. They may have something in life that they need help just to get them some time saved. All right, bet. I got you. So we feed off each other. We balance each other out within that scenario. So that's all I got on that.
Oh man, I already spoke about that for what it came to that.
I guess one thing you said that stuck out to me the most was the whole loyalty factor. People being loyal to things that aren't beneficial to them. And I like how you flipped it into hypergamy. Um, your loyalty should be within your best interest first. And some people take the whole uh, self love thing a little bit too far, and that can become toxic. But the first loyalty that you have is within yourself, your own production, your own success. A lot of times you just have to block out the criticism because not everybody will understand your moves. But as long as you make it to whatever goal you have in place, that's all that matters. Some people will be successful, but start to hate their own success because people don't agree with how they got there. That happens a lot. We have that within our community where we call some people sellouts, we call some people coons. They don't fit within the majority of the community's out views, so we outcast them, right? It don't matter. While you fit within your own majority, even if it's the minority. That's how that works. You find your circle, your wolf pack, your network, and that's who you perform with, even if it's not on the majority scale. You know what I'm saying? We always look at the 5% analogy, where it's always 5% of the population that's either wealthy, it's always 5% that either have knowledge and information that everybody else don't have. It's always a small percentage. That's always around 5% of people that actually go out and succeed more than everybody else. They not saying, let me trade in all my wealth and information so I could be part of the bigger majority of humanity. No, I'm comfortable with being in that 5% because I stand above everybody else within my performance. So just be comfortable within your own skin. Your loyalty is to yourself first and foremost, and then it's to the people that depend on you to perform. That's the reason why you out there hustling and grinding and making moves. It's not to make everybody happy that you actually like and route with, business wise or whatever, personal. You have to make it for you. And then it's people that depending on you to perform at that level. So your loyalty shouldn't be towards uh, whatever people say your loyalty should be towards, if that makes sense. Um, Closing off on that, we look at people that we have people that say, "Hey, clean up the hood, make the hood a better place," right? And then a lot of these same people get killed in the hood they're trying to clean up. You know what I'm saying? So that loyalty, right? The loyalty has to be first and foremost to yourself and your family, the people that depend on you. That's where it starts. You can serve humanity and serve other people, but you have to have more loyalty to yourself first. That's just how it works to me.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, you got to be loyal to yourself more, far most and more than anything. When it comes to me, like I said, I tell people all the time, look, I'm not here to like make you smile all the time, but
Mm.
when we talk, we're gonna learn something to do, or we're gonna make sure we move forward. Um, like I said, there's always blind loyalty we got to be able to pay attention to, where sometimes we don't even make, what I'm saying, progress because we're so blind to what we got going on. All right, I'm selfish when it comes to making progress, straight up. But I'm not. I don't live a selfish life, but I'm selfish when it comes to making progress. Put it like that. All right, that's why I said when I talk to individuals, it's very important that I listen to how they want to live their lifestyle. If a woman is too much about herself, I'm not interested, straight up. Because everything I do now is not even formally, right? That's why I already put like life insurance policy on me whole life, and I also got term. I put things already into play because I'm already thinking about the bigger picture of family, kids, and everything else, right?
Mhm.
If you're still living for to now, then it's gonna fuck up what I actually got planned for in the future. I'm very broad. I'm much broad when I come to my thinking. That's very important when I do things as well. Um, One thing I do, like you said, with the statement about like cleaning up the neighborhood or cleaning up the hood. I'm trying to remember that Jay-Z line. I know he was like take your own drug money and rest the neighborhood. I mean, make your money and rest the neighborhood. That's how you clean it. Um, I always be on some stuff like you don't necessarily have to stay in the hood in order to make it a better place. The smartest people, what they're doing is dumping programs and stuff like that into the hood and just leaning back. Right, you
Mhm.
can still put things into play, things into action. You don't have to necessarily be there. I know Nipsey was doing that. You got Nas doing that. You got Jay-Z doing that. I'm reading stuff right now. Nelly's been doing that. He's been taking two college kids, paying full ride scholarships for them for the last I feel like 5-10 years. Same thing with Will I Am. It's a lot of people that's doing big things within the area neighborhoods they lived in, but they're not trying to tell you like, look, I ain't gotta stay here to do it. But I feel like that's how some rappers get dragged into some of these situations themselves. They don't know how to pull back, right? That's what they say. When you blow up, move to another city. Hey, sometimes you need to go to another city to blow up, move, and make things happen. I was with my mentor. Was talking. Was walking around his luxury apartment,
Mhm.
and he was telling me like, "How do you plan on living your life?" I said, "Look, I'm gonna be honest. I plan on traveling and making a shit ton of business deals." He told me straight up. He said, "Look, you're never gonna blow up unless you travel." And I was like, "Oh." So he kind of like planted the seed in me, seed in me, like letting me know I'm on the right path. Same thing when it came to sports. Everybody doesn't stay in their whole town and make it. They traded off to different cities, countries, all that stuff. All that is necessary for your growth. Place yourself in a new environment, you create a new person.
Okay. Okay. All right. And just going back to the Kevin Durant analogy and applying it to even another area, you got the femininity and masculinity type conversation, right?
Uh-huh.
Depending on what crowd you're in, your criticism will be different, right? If you're in a
Right.
crowd of people where women, for women, if you're in a crowd of people that women aren't within their feminine, right? The criticism is going to be different versus you being around other women that within their feminine state. Same thing with a masculine man. The criticism will be different. It's just going to be moves that you're going to make that people are not going to agree with. That's why we say single women keep women single, right?
Right.
Because if a woman is being feminine, sometimes other people look at that and say, that's a weakness. You shouldn't be doing that. You're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be this. You're supposed to be that.
Uh-huh.
The criticism is different because that's not the network of people that you should be involved with. That's based on your growth. So you base your network around your growth, your potential, and how you move, right? So if a lot of people are in agreement within you not being within your natural state, you know what I'm saying? That's criticism that it tickles the ego. It tickles us, right? That's what we want to hear, but that's not the truth. Remember, 5%. 5% of people actually stand above everybody else and every kind of statistic we can talk about. We can talk about only 5% of men are probably alpha. Only 5% of people are really wealthy. Only 5%, only 5%, only 5%. It might be a topic later on, the 5% analogy. But yeah, most definitely, when it comes to being feminine and masculine, the criticism that you're going to get is not going to always be what you want to hear or that you should hear. It's based on your network. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of men out there that talk about Kevin Samuels. You know what I mean? Like, uh, did everybody agree with him? No, but nobody can say he wasn't a man. We're not gonna say that. We're
Shit,
not gonna say he
everybody.
was. We're not gonna
All the
say
chicks wanted Kevin
he wasn't
Samuels,
in
even
his
though that
masculine
man pissed them
frame.
off.
You feel me? So even though people could say his approach was whatever, we still respect the masculinity that he exhibited. That's what a lot of people connect with, even if they don't connect with the entire message. So we respect that, right? So the criticism would be if I'm not within my masculine frame as a man and I'm not within my feminine frame as a woman, well, I'm gonna just shit all over that man and everything he said and everything he stood for because I'm not where I should be. And even if majority of people do that, I've always been a rebel. So if everybody else say left, I kind of look at right. For everybody else say, hey, go this way, I kind of automatically look the other way. That's just how I'm wired and programmed. But most definitely, you don't want to follow the majority in those senses, right? That's what I was always taught: be a leader, not a follower. Whatever you got on the
I'm
femininity
about to
and
say you
masculinity
can't be
part,
an effective leader without first being a follower.
hmm? That's
But
a relationship.
huh?
Yeah, it's definitely a relationship.
Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
that all coexists. That's why they always says a natural alpha from an alpha that was created out of a beta state. Natural alphas come from individuals that was placed in a nuclear family. He has got to see the man and the woman work in their natural nature
Cohesive
state of
environment.
mind.
Right.
So you got to see everything be put in place. He was in situations. He got to see how to handle it as a man. He see in situations where he also got to see how a woman was to handle the situation. All that comes into place. I feel like that's why when a lot of people, that's why I say, bro, I don't like when people call themselves alpha. Like, yo, I don't care until I see how you handle situations, bro. Let me see how that goes about, right? Um, now, it was something you said that caught my attention. I'm trying to recall it. Okay, right here. The word respect, man. Do you feel his position and what he's doing when it comes to the trading situation, he's going to lose respect for it? Like how would that affect the individual who just wants to be the best that there is when it comes to respect?
It's training.
Yeah, like mentally, like you're about to do something that everybody's going to spit at your face, do stuff of that nature. What I'm saying is, how do you like? Is there such thing as regaining respect? Do you lose respect? Does it crush your ego? Like, what's the way somebody moves forward into getting into another system without feeling like they're losing respect?
Well, that's just part of it. Respect, especially I think for men, it would never be as concrete as we would like it to be. Uh,
Right, right. That
even
was
if
good. That was
you
good.
even if you stay in tune with your roots. Let's say I'm a black man, I come out the hood, right? I'm in a different network of people, so I'm not in the hood as much, but I get back, I do my thing, I show my face. It's still gonna be somebody that think that you don't have the amount of money I have. You don't go through what I go through every day, even though you from here. I know you from here, but you don't live this shit every day. I live this shit every day. So fuck you.
Huh.
I
Okay,
will never
okay,
give you the
okay. I
respect
like that. I like
of your moves because people have to heal personally in order for them to even acknowledge people within the proper respect that they can, right? Because it's not that necessarily you want to disrespect me, but you have shit within you that's blocking you from seeing me as who I am. You the problem at that particular point, not me, right? Because I'm showing you that it's possible. But that's also problematic because I'm showing you it's possible and you still don't believe it's possible because you blocked off. You got shit, you know what I'm saying, that you feel like you not controlling. So, I mean, it's just gonna happen when being a man, especially being a great black man. You're gonna get scrutiny from your ground zero, and you may get love from your ground zero.
that.
It's gonna happen. Even when you move into different circles, it's gonna be people that respect you within those circles, and it's gonna be people that always gonna see you as a nigga, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Barack Obama,
Sophisticated, sophisticated corporate thugs
right?
in this bitch these days.
Barack Obama made it to the top. I don't agree with his philosophies and a lot of things that he stood for, but he made it to the top. So nonetheless, I can respect that he made it to the top. But it's still gonna be people within that circle that's gonna say, "Hey, you still a nigga," even though you're the president. You know what I mean? So
Jay Z said as a
you
billionaire.
you can't
He's still.
please everybody, especially
Yeah.
being a man making your progression throughout life. You're not gonna please everybody. Respect is something that it come and go. You know what I'm saying? Respect will be synonymous with love. Love come and go. Respect come and go. Uh, You know what I'm saying? A lot of these emotions come and go. Your main focal point is just to make it succeed. You're gonna have
Right.
turmoil regardless. You know what I'm saying? A dude can give it to charity, and somebody else can be like, he's just doing that for a tax write-off. You
Right?
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you can
Like
do that for tax
it
write-off.
don't
Maybe
matter.
he's
It
stupid.
don't matter.
Hey, nigga, he did it. Shut up. Did you do it?
Right.
And then we
You
ask
know what I'm
himself,
saying?
like, did you do it? Like,
Right.
I ain't got the
So
money.
yeah. So inevitably, you know what I'm saying? Nice comment. You just gotta learn how to, step over people respectfully, continue to upgrade your life. And I hate it when people be like, okay, look, I come from, what I'm saying, circumstances that were more impoverished. But now that I made it, I gotta dumb down my accomplishments, right? When I go around my people, when I do, I can't be the person I am because it's gonna offend them. Yo, fuck that. Be unapologetic.
Man, look,
If
telling
if
it. I'm
you
telling
made
my
it and you shine and you shining, shine. Be vibrant. Be who you are, right?
be
People can
violent.
only accept you or not. Because if somebody, if five people say, hey, fuck him, he think he the shit. If one person say, look, how did you get that? Teach me. You can accomplish the greatest thing ever. You want to make people happy or you want to uplift and motivate society? Which one? Because you're not gonna be able to always do both at the same time.
Not at all. I can tell him right now, like, I got some
Right?
stuff I'm about to be pulling out on a physical level, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to care what anybody say. Like, oh, Juice, you shining hard. Yeah, baby.
You
What I'm supposed
supposed
to do?
to. You
Man, what
supposed
I'm supposed
to.
to do? What I'm supposed to do?
You supposed to.
Like I said, my man said, look, once you get to a place, you should feel comfortable showing off what you have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't ever let people, like you say, like that, be humble. That's why, like, one of the biggest things is the be humble statement at times, right? I
Mhm.
always want you to be humble. Like, there's something wrong with just getting the things that you want out of life. Yes, I mean, like, one of the main things is, like, for instance, right now, there's really a big facade when it comes to J. Cole and how he lives his life. He has no car. He bikes everywhere. He rides metro. He walks around with no security. Oh, he's so free. I'm like, cool. He wanted to do that. So what's
That's
wrong
his
with my
role.
boy? Got
Yeah.
a Bugatti and 12 thrills. What's wrong with that? Why can't I have that too? Why can't I have that too?
Why can't
They
I
always
stand?
want you to be like. They want you to be like J. Cole. They don't want you to be like Floyd Mayweather. Let me say that again. They want you to be like
Mm.
J. Cole. They don't want you to be like Floyd Mayweather, bro. That's the crazy part. Like,
Mhm.
when I'm well accomplished and I have the resources, I'm gonna enjoy it. Nobody's gonna tell me nothing. I'm gonna be honest.
Man, bro, bro, polite. He came up with one of the famous things I live by. I come from humble beginnings, not to be humble for the rest of my life. If you humble for the rest of your life, that's a problem. I just keep it 100 with you. At some point, you have to live within your success, and it's not about flaunting it, but you live in it, right? Because if somebody go and right, they everyday life, they post it on their stories. That's their everyday life. If it's within the majority, nobody feels insecure. But if your
Right?
everyday life is lavish, you doing the same thing they doing. But now you
Exactly.
gotta stop because that's not what majority of people experience. Fuck that. No, that's not how that works, right? If just think about it. If we talk about hypergamy, um, hypergamy to some people's opinion is what shifted humanity because man always had to improve itself. Man always had to evolve, right? Same thing applies to what we're talking about. If I evolve and I improve myself at the highest level, hypergamy is still into play with even on how I show it. You can't tell me I come from kings and queens and I'm the god of the earth and I'm the first man, she the first woman, and all this spiritual shit and all this historic shit. I built pyramids, I did all this shit. I came up with math and science. I did all that. And Massa Musa was black and all these other people was black, right?
Richest
But when
man
it come
ever.
down to me, I gotta be middle class at best. Or if even if I do succeed, even if I do succeed, I gotta calm down. You think our ancestors calmed down?
Nah, they
I
turned
mean,
the
they was
fuck up.
grilled out. They had all gold, everything.
Gold everything.
They was buried
Gold
in gold.
toilet
They
seat.
had so much
Go,
gold. What
go.
you think I'm gonna do? Be subservient or play a more humble role? It's a time and a place for everything. But this is where we come from. We can't take one part of our culture and then dismiss the other. We tend to do that pretty often, right? But I would just simply say, man, like somebody else seeing them wear success and embody success should motivate you even to be 10 times more successful. But if people didn't even do that, we wouldn't know what success looked like.
Correct. Yeah, but that's all I got over the subject, man. Let's say anything you want to add to it.
Um, no, that's cool. We can open up the Q&A, see if anybody got input on this conversation.
All right, man. Q and A's is open. Request to go live. Q and A's.
All right. Before we sign out on that Q&A, that's Talking That Talk official podcast. Make sure you tap into the YouTube channel, the IG, of course. We try to do big things on both platforms and take that success and leverage it on other platforms. So definitely make sure you tap into the YouTube channel for sure.